America at 250. A lot of people say that God had a direct hand in the founding of our country. And if that's so, then we should be able to find or see examples of God's divine intervention. Well, I have one here that I think qualifies. The British were in Boston, and Washington wanted to move his cannons up on Dorchester Heights. However, you have to have some fortifications. You have to dig a trench. And in the frozen ground there in the winter, they could not dig those trenches. And without them, the British would easily blow his cannons away. So that very night, as they were talking about it, a young officer walked past General Heath's tent. He decided to pay the general a quick visit, and he was the young officer was an amateur engineer, and he saw one of the general's books on engineering. He began to look at it, and he found a French design for what they called a chandelier, where you take some wood and you build a frame and you fill it with these tightly bound together sticks, and when you link them together, you make fortification just as strong as a trench. Well, he rushed off to tell Washington, who immediately began work on these chandeliers. And they decided to take them up at night so the British couldn't see them. But the night they began to take them up, not only had God intervened in letting this young man find this French fortification, but now there was a slight mist or fog that covered the ground, the British and the Americans, so that they couldn't see the Americans getting things ready. But as they went up Dorchester Heights, up in the air, that fog lifted, that mist was gone, and they had a full moon to set everything up. But even more miraculous was the British could hear what was going on. So if the Americans made any sound at all, the British would know it. But there were 800 men, over 800 men, horses, oxen, mules, wagons, cannons that they drug up and down this Dorchester Heights, and not one sound was heard by the British. In fact, they even say a slight wind was blowing away from the British to take any sounds they may have made away. In the morning, the British were stunned. One captain said, "It's more like magic than it is the work of human hands." The General Howe himself, the leader of the British, said that the rebels have done more in one night than my troops could have done in a month. I think that would be divine intervention.